All right, Shalom. For the first, I want to give our praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and to all the outcome across the globe, put the word of truth and sincerity. This is Diet Nawa from the GMX Chicago camp with a lesson. Just going through the videos yesterday, and I came across this video of this so-called Native American named Nightwolf, and he was basically getting into this a topic called paper genocide. I never heard the term before, and he had broke it down a little bit, but it was kind of low on the volume wise. So I just Googled it and came up with this article on paper genocide. And as you can see here, it said paper genocide of Native Americans from the 1790 census to the present. And basically, paper genocide was the beginning of the so-called American census. And through the spirit, there's a lot of things in this article. I'm going to read some. I may read it all, I may not. It's going to be through the spirit. But I thought it very interesting about the way the Esau manipulates and uses his authority, all right, to keep his agenda going. All right, so without further ado, we're going to get into the scriptures. I'm going to get into this word. It's paper genocide. It says, since the beginnings of the African slave trade in America, many Native persons, unfortunately, to the detriment of Native heritage, were being listed as black, mulatto, Negro, or just lumped together as colored, which did not allow for distinction between us and Africans on paper. So just with that simple, you can see the guy, I believe his name was Walter Plecker. All right, he started this paper genocide. We're gonna get more into him later. But here he says that the Native Americans were being lumped together with the so-called Negroes, which for one, it proves that we're the same people. Okay. All right, but it also proves that Esau considers all. He doesn't differentiate between the tribes, man. All right, he's gonna shoot down Issachar. Just the fact he's gonna shoot down Judah. All right, Ephraim's gonna go to jail just as much as Gad is gonna go to jail, man. Although these nations, a lot of people in these nations look the same, okay, as far as color-wise and complexion-wise, but they're different tribes. But Esau not really knowing that, he lumps us all together, man, by color, all right, or by social classifications. And I'm going to read this a little bit, and as I read, some scriptures should come to mind. I'm going to just keep this in mind, though. It says, this is going to the paper genocide of America. And I found this on iloveancestry.com. I tried other forums, and basically they all say the same thing. It says, in the slavery days, being listed as a Negro was done to our native people in order for white slave owners to keep an ample supply of enslaved Africans. Many blood natives have lost the God-given blood heritage due to slavery in southern states, in which approximately 50,000 or more full-blood native men, women, and children alike were forced by white slave owners to take part in slavery. Well, let you know, this going to talk about Judah and Ephraim were oppressed together, all right? And with that travesty of race reclassification, starting from the first census ever taken in America, which I believe was 1790, okay? It said natives were falsely listed in all census records as Negro, musty, black, mulatto, or colored, and sometimes even white. This was an intentional reclassification which was passed down from generation to generation to the present. Even presently entered on many natives' vital records as in birth certificates and Social Security data. So basically what they're saying is that the Native Americans were put in the same category as Negroes, man. Okay, there was no separation of identity. Okay, and it said that it says here that natives were falsely listed on all census records as Negro, musty, black, mulatto, or colored, and sometimes even white. And what came to my mind, of course, Deuteronomy 28. Let me get that real quick. 28 and 28 and 37. It says, and thou shalt become a byword. Thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. Okay? All right, so calling the Native Americans mulattoes or Negroes, black or mulatto or colored, it's being a byword, man. The word Native American is a byword. Indian is a byword. Okay? All right? We're going to continue on. All right? And the name of this guy is Walter Plecker. Okay? And it says Walter Plecker of Virginia, Virginia's vital records began a paper genocide trend that quickly spread throughout the 50 states and continues to this day. All right? Because when I was coming up, I was born in 1976. My mother had sat me down one day, and I don't know what prompted her to do this, but she sat there. I'm not sure if she told me. I believe she showed me too. Not all the birth certificates, but some of them. She showed me ones of my sister, who was born 10 years prior to me. She showed me that of her own. So within between 1948 and 1976, the names on the names and the color box on the birth certificates changed from Negro to Negroid to black to colored, man. Okay? Which proves that what is being said here is true. And it also proves that Proverbs 28 and 37. So Plecker was a member, and I'm going to keep the word in mind too. Plecker was a member of the EUGENICS movement. And Plecker had an agenda targeted at Indians, mixed race individuals, and blacks in the state of Virginia. Here it is. Plecker was just another regular Edomite who was made a keeper of the records in Virginia. All right, and they're going to tell you why he did these things. So Plecker was a member of the EUGENICS movement, and Plecker had an agenda targeted at Indians, mixed races individuals, and blacks in the state of Virginia. So Plecker intentionally attempted to eliminate any evidence of any Indians in the state of Virginia in order to purify the white race. All right, let's read this. And these are not really in order, so through the spirit, it might be shorter than I anticipated, or maybe longer. This now remember, he just said that it says he intentionally attempted to eliminate any evidence of any Indians in the state of Virginia in order to purify the white race. All right, the scripture that came to mind was Psalms 83 and 4. It says, I'm going to start at 2. It said, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And that's Plecker, all right, and the people that was on his vital records committee, man. It said they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Okay? And it goes on to say the tabernacle of Edom, which you can see, this guy right here, William Plecker, is obviously an Edomite. You can tell through the spirit he's an Edomite. Okay? So he didn't want he wanted to eliminate and cut off the so-called Native Americans in the state of Virginia, man. Now let's look up this word eugenics. The eugenics from the dictionary online. Eugenics, the science of improving a human population by controlled breeding to increase the occurrence of desirable, heritable characteristics, developed largely by Francis Galton as a method of improving the human race, It fell into disfavor only after the perversion of its doctrines by the Nazis. Let's keep this in mind, okay? The part being a controlled breeding to increase the occurrence of desirable, heritable characteristics, right? And also the doctrine, the eugenics doctrine was adopted by the Nazis. Now let's keep that in mind, okay? All right, and it says, Plecker modified birth records in the state of Virginia. I learned that in some cases, Plecker actually ordered any documentation recorded on any individual that indicated Indian destroyed as well. Plecker threatened midwives that indicated Indian as the race on the birth certificate. Did that sound familiar? Does that sound like Pharaoh and Herod wanted to destroy the males out of Egypt, out of Israel during the time of Yahushua's birth? Okay, so not only was this practice being done by Mizraim and also Edom, okay, it says Walter Ashby Plecker was the first registrar of the Virginia Bureau of Vital Statistics. All right. Okay, I'm going to skip down a couple of sentences. He accepted the job in 1912. For the next 34 years, he led the effort to purify the white race in Virginia by forcing Indians and other non-whites to classify themselves as blacks. It amounted to bureaucratic genocide. All right, so it says he led forth an effort to purify the white race. All right, well, to purify the white race go to eugenics, which is a science of improving human population by controlled breeding to increase the occurrence of desirable, heritable characteristics. And it also said that it was adopted by the Nazis. For anybody who knows Adolf Hitler, he was looking for the pure white race, which was blonde hair, blue eyes, which were so-called the acceptable characteristics of Edomites during that time. All right, and there's gonna be some more later on. It's gonna really shock you guys because it shocked me. All right, so that proves that. All right, it says with the stroke of a pen, Plecker could write an individual into Negro status and legal and social oblivion. Plecker was only too willing to exercise that power, thus making him a figure to dread to Indians in general, but particularly to the Powhatan remnants in Rockbridge and Amherst counties to the retirement and subsequent death in 1946. Okay? So that's what that is, man. All right? So we're going to read Micah 2:2. Let me read it. Hold on, Salakia. Psalms 44:4 says, Thou makest a byword among the heathen, and shaking of the head among thy people. My confusion is continually before me, and the shame of my face hath covered me. All right? For the voice of him that reproacheth and blasphemeth, the reason of the enemy and avenger. All right? So that's Esau perpetuating and showing his disdain for our people, man. It said with a stroke of a pen. So you already know what scripture we finna go to through the Spirit. Micah 2:2. It says, Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away, so they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage, man. So not giving them the proper status of who they are, you're taking away their heritage, man. Okay? Ever since Esau Edom stepped on the land of America, his whole agenda had been to defile the land, of course, but to take the name of Israel from off the face of the earth, man. And he started that with taking the land, the heritage, and the nationality away from the Native Americans with his authority being over the chief of the records, man, with a stroke of a pen, man. Okay? Let me see what this scripture says. Hold on, let me read it first. This is Isaiah 10:1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." Okay? So that's what this guy, Walter Plecker, has done, man. With a stroke of a pen, he was able to make you write you into Negro status. So say if you were a light-skinned, say Esau laid down with an Israelite woman, and the son or the daughter came out looking like Esau, he can still write them as being a Negro just because of the mother or just because he felt like it, man. All right? Esau has authority over, literally over everything right now, man. Okay? And this is further proves not only the scriptures, but it proves his hatred that he has for the nation of Israel, man. It says, Plecker's no-nonsense approach made him a celebrity with the eugenics movement, which was increasingly losing support among scientists and becoming a platform for white supremacy. He spoke around the country, was widely published, and he wrote to every governor in the nation to urge passage of racial laws just as tough as Virginia's. He died at the New York home of Harry L. Laughlin, the nation's leading eugenics advocate and an unabashed Nazi sympathizer, man. Okay? All right. I'm going to skip down to this paragraph right here. It says, in 1935, Plecker wrote to Walter Gross, the director of Germany's Bureau of Human Betterment and Eugenics. He outlined Virginia's racial purity laws and asked to be put on a mailing list for bulletins from Gross. Plecker complimented the Third Reich for sterilizing children in Algeria who were born to German women and black men. Okay? All right, so Esau was really trying to get rid of that the Israelite seed, man. Okay? All right, that goes to that wisdom of Solomon. That about found to be feeble, found to be nothing worth. All right, that's why Esau, Hitler, was doing an ethnic cleansing, so to speak, man. All right? It says, he also says, I hope this work is complete and not one has been missed. So they literally tried to annihilate every tribe, the Powhatan tribe of Virginia, of the Native Americans, man. I sometimes regret that we had not the authority to put some measures in practice in Virginia, man. Okay? So this is what this is their thinking, man. Since Plecker changed or destroyed labels on vital records to classify Indians as colored, mongrel, mulatto, investigated the pedigrees of racially suspect citizens. Hey, isn't that what Trump is doing now? Making Instacart and the other nations prove that they're citizens, man. Making them prove who they are. It's the same thing, man. All right? And there's nothing new up under the sun. It says, investigated the pedigrees of racially suspect citizens and provided information to block or null interracial marriages with whites. He not only did this to Indians, but other races as well. And what other races he talking about, man? The so-called tribes, man. You know? With that, I hope it was informational. Hope it was edifying. And until next time, call Allah. How about me on Shai? The honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Till next time, Shalom.